Hey y'all, it's Lacey, the Catholic Icing Lady, and today I'm going to show you how to draw Our Lady of Chiquinquirá. Okay, I'm going to start with my paper turned horizontally, and I'm going to work in this section here at the top first. So I'm going to draw a long, skinny, kind of a U shape, which is going to be one of the arms, and I'm going to put a little curvy line here. That's like one of her shirt sleeves. Now I'm going to put another short line here, and I'm going to curve up. Then I'm going to start at the bottom of that line, and I'm going to curve up and make a point. So it's pointy. That's her other shirt sleeve, and we're going to put her holding baby Jesus. So I'm going to put a circle. I'm going to balance it right on the end of that point, and that's going to become baby Jesus's head because she's holding baby Jesus. So I'm going to put it just like that. Then I'm going to come in and add her hand. So I'm going to give just 5 little bumps for her fingers, like that. And then her other hand is just going to disappear behind this arm. Very good. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and make this into baby Jesus. So I'm going to draw a line like this. That's his little blanket. Then I'm going to put in a long line here. That's his arm, and I'm putting his hand out there because he's going to be holding a little bird. So we're going to draw a very simple bird with a little tail and a little beak. That's it, almost like he's holding a little rubber ducky or something. Now we're going to give him hair by just putting bump, bump, bump all around the top of his head, just like that. Then we're going to come in and give him a little happy face. Good. All right, now we're going to give him a crown. So I'm going to make a point on one side. Then I'm going to make a point on the other side. Now I'm going to make a little point on each side, and then another big point in the middle. So that just helps us make his crown kind of symmetrical. Now I'm going to put in some little circles, which are going to be the jewels on his crown. So now we have a pretty good baby Jesus going right here. So we're going to put in a scepter on the left side over here. So we're going to start with 2 straight parallel lines. And you just want to make sure that those are the same height. So once you have them the same, we're going to start by making a circle, then a diamond shape, then another circle balanced on top of that. Now we're going to come in around the edge of this, almost like a cloud shape, and go bump, 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 and then 2 more bumps on this side, and that will give us a fancy scepter shape. All right, to make it a little bit more fancy, we're going to come in and add another bump on this side and on this side. Then we're going to make this kind of a skinny handle looking shape with 3 more bumps. See that? A small bump, and then a big bump, and then another small bump. There, now our scepter's done. All right, now we're ready to put in Mary's face, and we're going to want her like looking down at baby Jesus. So I'm going to put in an oval shape, and I'm going to put her face kind of close to baby Jesus, like she's looking down and snuggling him. Okay, so you want it nice and close to Jesus, just like that. Then we're going to add a little bit of hair, a little bit on each side, just like that. Now she's going to get an upside down 7 for a nose. And then we're going to give her closed eyes with just 2 curvy lines, and then a mouth with also a curvy line. Okay, now she's also going to wear a crown. So we're going to come in and put a slopey line that kind of curves down towards her face, but it needs to be bigger than her head. And we're going to curve these lines out to make her crown kind of fancy. So I'm putting a point at each end that curves out. Then on each side, I'm going to put 2 little pointy shapes, leaving myself a space in the middle. And with the space that's left, I'm going to connect it with a taller point to make a big fancy crown for Mary. Now I'm going to run a parallel line along the bottom of the crown, And then I'm going to put some circles on her crown for jewels as well. So I'm thinking 5 jewels for her crown. Perfect. All right, now we're going to do the veil, like coming down around her face. So from the side of the crown, I'm just going to run that down. And then I'm going to put in some kind of fabric folding lines like that. And then from the other side, I'm just going to connect that behind baby Jesus and give her another curvy fabric line there. Okay, now we're ready to come down under the scepter and start with her dress. So I'm going to give myself a swoopy line. Then I'm going to make it in kind of a big swoop on this left side, but it's pointy at the top. Then we're going to bring her waist in, like the top of her dress right here, coming down kind of from her shoulder, where her shoulder would be. So that's her waist. Now I'm going to put kind of a belt around her waist like that. Okay. Now I'm going to connect all of this like a big swoopy piece of fabric. Like that. And then swoop it around. And connect it on this left side. Because she needs a big swoopy piece of fabric. Now I can run a parallel line and just follow my other swoopy line. I'm going to give that a little edge to make it fancy. And then I'm going to put another edge right here. And make that part fancy too. All right, I'm going to go ahead and also come along this edge on this right side. Just like that, to give myself a nice edge on that fabric. Okay, I think we're ready to put in the bottom of her dress now. So it's going to come from her waist and it's going to poof way out. So it's going to poof on this side. Okay, and connect to that. Then it's going to come from behind the fabric and it's going to poof on this side as well. And then I'm just going to pretend like that line continues behind the fabric and pops out on the other side. And I bring that down to her dress. And then I'm going to make myself a line that swoops down her fancy dress. And then we're going to run our parallel line right beside that one, following that curve. Okay, now instead of just connecting the dress at the bottom, we need to add a big crescent moon shape that she's standing on under here. So I'm going to start right here and I'm going to curve, make a big curvy line and bring it around to that side. Then I'm going to start with a point and I'm going to make a big swoop and connect on this other side. Very good job. Okay, now we can put in a little bit of the waves on the bottom of her dress, kind of sitting across this moon. So we can just put in a little bit of a wiggly line there. And then once again, we can follow right along the edge of that line to give her dress like that little bit of edging. Yay! It's looking so good, you guys. All right, I'm going to put in just a couple of these little fabric lines on baby Jesus's blanket here. And because this is Our Lady of Chiquinquirá, she needs to be holding a rosary. So now we're going to put our rosary in right here. So we're going to start with a string. And we're just going to bring it down like that. Then it's going to be coming out the other side of the arm and meeting at the bottom like a point. All right, I'm just tracing over that to make my line a little more dark. So then we're going to make a little triangle and then a string coming down. Gets a big bead, 3 little beads, and then another big bead. You can extend your line if you need to. And then at the bottom here, it's going to get a cross because we want it to look like a real rosary. So it's looking really good so far. Okay, now we're going to come and add some more beads to our string up here. So first we're going to put in some big beads for the Our Father beads. And then we're just going to come in between those and we're going to put little beads. And we probably won't fit 10 beads in all the places, but you and I both know there's 10 Hail Marys between all the Our Fathers, but as long as we kind of have the big beads and then the little beads, it's going to really give us the look like she's holding a rosary, which it totally does. Look at that. All right, I'm going to add one more little piece of flowy fabric behind her on this right side. So I'm going to put in one flowy line right there. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of edging just like that. Perfect. I think we're ready to color Our Lady of Chiquinquirá. Okay, so the coloring is going to go in fast motion, but I'm going to show the full picture at the end. So if you want to be able to match my colors, you can just pause it then. So I'm starting with a skin tone. Then I'm going to come in with a yellow and I'm going to do all the golden stuff. And I'm going to make all the trim on her dress like a golden yellow color and the moon under her feet as well. Then I'm going to come in with kind of an orange color and I'm going to just hit some of the edges on the left side of my yellow spaces to give that like a little bit of a shadowing just on the left side of everything. And I'm going to do that on the gold trimmings on her dress as well. Okay, we're going to do some hair. And I think I'm going to make my little bird on Jesus's hand also brown. And I'm going to come in with some light blue to just do the edges of their fabric. Now, Our Lady of Chiquinquirá wears a red dress, so I'm going to go ahead and make that red. And then for all the fabric flowing around her dress, I'm going to come in with this nice royal blue color, which I think is absolutely beautiful. You're definitely going to want to take whatever colors you want, all the colors of the rainbow, and decorate the beautiful jewels on their crowns to give yourself just a really beautiful colored finish. And there you have it. You have drawn Our Lady of Chiquinquirá. Be sure to follow for more fun Catholic How to Draw videos.